Prime Minister Modi lands in Johannesburg for the all-important BRICS summit. All eyes are on whether he will hold talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping in a bid to resolve the three-year-old standoff at the line of actual control. Ever since the clashes between Indian and Chinese troops in Galwan in 2020, there have been talks between foreign ministers, defense ministers and NSA-level officials of both countries. Military officials from both sides have held several rounds of talks, but Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping have never spoken. In September 2022, the two leaders stood next to each other when they attended a leaders' lunch at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit in Samarkand. In November 2022, Prime Minister Modi and Xi Jinping were seen talking at a G20 banquet in Bali. Prime Minister Modi walked up to Xi and exchanged greetings. It was only in July this year that the Ministry of External Affairs admitted that both leaders had discussed boundary issues. Since the talks began after the Galwan incident, there has been disengagement from 6 friction points. Galwan, the north and south banks of Pangong So, at patrolling point 17 in the Gogra Hot Springs and patrol point 15. But the Demchok Plains and Demchok continue to be a sticking point between both countries. Both sides have issues regarding troop positions, especially at the bottleneck on the eastern edge of Depsang. Since the Galwan clash, both sides have been ramping up activity as well as the number of troops at the LAC. More than 68,000 army soldiers, around 90 tanks and other weapon systems were airlifted by the Indian Air Force to eastern Ladakh for rapid deployment along the LAC. The army has also enhanced its combat capabilities in the region. It has deployed a significant number of M777 ultralight howitzers in mountainous regions along the LAC in Arunachal Pradesh. The Indian side has also been giving a major push to infrastructure development along the 3,500 kilometers long LAC. But China has also been consolidating its military positions. It has deployed more forces and weaponry and ramped up its infrastructure by building roads, bunkers and even setting up villages along the LAC. China has also been flexing its muscles along the Sikkim-Arunachal Pradesh border, which led to a clash between the troops in Yangtze last year. Beijing has also renamed 11 places in Arunachal Pradesh, a move that has been rejected by New Delhi. India has been proposing a 3-step process to resolve the standoff at the LAC. The first of these includes the disengagement of troops within close proximity in grey zones along the LAC and moving back to positions as on April 2020. In the next 2 steps, India suggests that there should be de-escalation and de-induction. This includes pulling troops and equipment back to the scenario before April 2020. Until that happens, India says the situation cannot be seen as normal. What's clear is that both sides would want a resolution to this issue, which is now in its 3rd year. But the outcome will depend on the extent of the willingness of both leaders to find common ground. Apart from the LAC issue, a bilateral between India and China will be important in resolving issues over the G20 Joint Declaration statement. Both China and Russia are blocking it at present, and the summit is less than 3 weeks away.